This is Business and Economy Network.
Hello, wonderful viewers watching within and outside Nigeria. Those of us watching via the online channels, thank you so much for letting us into your homes, your offices, wherever you're watching us from. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of your program. This is our program, Business and Economy Network, bringing you reports from different sectors of the Nigerian economy. My name is still Ohioze Edna. Today on our report, we bring to you little from the housing and real estate development industry and also telecoms and communication in Nigeria. For Company in Focus, we were in Abuja with the MD CEO, PIROTTI Projects Limited, setting the pace in real estate development in northern Nigeria. For Straight Talk in Lagos State, Nigeria, we had the MD CEO, BASHMOH Homes Limited, providing comfortable, convenient and affordable homes for Nigerians, especially the low and middle income earner. And for Special Report is the MD CEO in Lagos State, Nigeria, POINTEK Nigeria Limited, a one-stop shop for all phones, gadgets and electronics. You know how we do it, is never a boring moment. Do stay tuned. I'll be right back. Architect Abdullahi Suleiman is the Chief Executive Officer of PIROTTI Projects Limited, located in Abuja, Nigeria. The firm started a few years ago with the primary aim to transfer and replicate designs by architects for civil engineers and housing projects. Architect Suleiman believes real estate business in Nigeria has a huge and very high potential, considering increase in population, urban migration, needs for new designs and modern structures. Nigeria is becoming a tourist attraction gradually, and foreigners coming to invest, having places like Eco-Atlantic in mind. Considering the challenge of land acquisition in Nigeria, the CEO mentioned that this is a concern and poses as a stumbling block most times, and also calls on the Nigerian government to use its weight so that credible firms can have easy land access for projects with less cumbersome processes.
If you look at real estate from two lenses, one from the lens of housing, where we are still having a population boom. Every day we are having people, new families being established, they need houses. People are moving into cities, they need houses. So the housing deficit, it's even going up. So there's that gap is always there. And the opportunity to close that gap is always there. And if you look at it from the other lens of real estate investments as well, we have Nigeria, especially Lagos and Abuja, are becoming destinations in Africa, real estate destinations in Africa. We have high-end luxury developments coming up where international investors are looking to invest and make profits in the long term. You know, if you talk about the Eco-Atlantic, for example, you know, it's really selling in the international scene, and I think the centenary city that's supposed to have started in Abuja as well, it has a lot of potential for the international market. So I think it's looking very good for Nigeria. Land acquisition is not that easy. But like I said, business is all about partnerships, strategic partnerships. When you have people that you partner with and you harness your diversities, you can always come together and create value. So what we do in PIROTTI Projects is to basically reach out to people that can actually bring, that have packaged land and can bring it to the table. We can either partner for development or in some cases we purchase outrightly for our development. But recently, of course, we've been reaching out to governments, especially in the FCT, to try and work out a framework where developers like us, developers will be graded based on their past projects, so that it will be easy for us to access loans, to access land in the near future. PPP is the future, especially the near future. I don't think the government is overwhelmed. Definitely, it cannot meet its obligation of providing housing for all. So, like I said, we are already in partnership with a government financial institution, the Federal Mortgage Bank, as far as finance is concerned. And our upcoming project is more or less like a PPP with a government institution, not the FCDA, but it's a certain government institution to provide housing for its staff, and at the same time, the developer would now have benefits business-wise as well. So it is definitely the future, PPP. But so far it's been very challenging because most government institutions, with the bureaucracy, the challenge we're having with that is that there's a lot of bureaucracy in governments, and we as private businesses, we are businesses. We don't like if the bureaucracy becomes too much, it wastes a lot of time and resources. Time is money, like they say. So that's the major challenge we're having. So if governments would just understand and maybe have departments or units that would deal with public-private partnerships and streamline them for efficiency, it will really augur well for the economy at large. The pay-as-you-go housing scheme it has worked in some cases. I think a few developers have been able to pull it through. But to be honest, I can't say the same for us because from our experience, we've had a lot of demand so far for our projects that whenever we roll out a project, it gets quickly sold out. People are willing to pay for it before we can even dust up the long-term plan for payments. So we haven't really keyed into that, but it's something we're looking at because, like I said, our next project that is strictly targeting the low-income earners is supposed to incorporate that.
BASHMOH Homes Limited is a real estate management and development company in Lagos State, Nigeria, specialized in the business of opening up new sites, locations, and providing necessary infrastructure, making available comfortable, convenient, and affordable state-of-the-art structures, especially for the low and middle-income earner. Talking on the challenges of building collapse with the MDCO Alhaji Bashir Jimoh, he explained that the government as a regulator, professionals like engineers and real estate developers all have a share from this challenge. Again, on the issue of quacks in the sector, the MDCO said, indeed, quacks abound in the industry, but clients must endeavor to always go a step further in ensuring proper background checks is being done on contractors or said companies.
I think is an issue of three angles. First, the government, that's the regulatory authority, Building Control Board. Secondly, the professional builders themselves, the engineers on field and co, and those of us that we are estate developers. You see, on the side of government need to be open with building approvals. You should know what is the requirement for you to get what certification. If you are building, you have to do piling or you have to do rafting. You should be able to punch your system online with the Building Control Board, and the parameter through which you need or documents you need to submit to kickstart is there. But a situation where you get familiarized with the approving authority, they are supposed to be the one that will grade you. They are supposed to be the one that will assess you, but you are interfacing with them one-on-one instead of them interfacing with your project. And lastly, to developers, greed. Greed. I think it's high time we know that the love of the country and love of humanity supersedes any financial gain. You will not, because your project has been oversubscribed and you have a building approval of say 6 flats, you want to increase it to 8 because there is oversubscription. And that is where the developers, I always tell my fellow developers, I said, look, the most important thing is it's better for you to expand vertically than wanting to do things that will end up. And thank God, the federal government, after the collapse of Lagos building, constituted a committee on collapse of building, and they've submitted the white paper to the president. We are waiting to see the kind of action the government of the day will want to take, so that at least that will forestall further occurrence of such. Our job speaks for itself. And I tell Nigerians that for you to identify a quality real estate firm, your first step is to Google the company's name. Check the profile. If you check the profile, I'm a risk person. I did risk management, and I know background checks does not end in adverts, because adverts will tell you what you want to hear. But it's your responsibility to conduct a background check on the company that you're about putting in your money, and that is key. We just opened Ibadan branch. We are now in Ibadan, and we are now also in Abuja. We just opened Abuja branch. We are looking at opening Abeokuta branch. We have a regional manager in the north that is in. We've mandated him because we discovered that Kaduna State is a state that wants investors, and we've mandated our regional manager in the north that he should look at us having relationship with Kaduna State government. So we are looking at both Kaduna State government and Nasarawa State government in the north, aside what we are currently doing in Abuja. So that is an aspect that we are really looking at. But as we speak, we have 3 branches within Lagos. We have Ibadan operative, we have Abuja operative. Abeokuta will soon be on board. There is a department that we have just developed. The department is property investment department. What we do is that we have partners in South Africa, we have partners in the US, we have partners in the UK. These are property firms that will assist Nigerians, this time the upper boundary Nigerians, to purchase properties, foreign investment properties in these countries. And we've done 1 or 2 transactions, and I tell you what, because of the level of legal development there and the benefit of investment there, is one of the departments now that is really developing in real estate, foreign acquisition of property. And this, I think I would want to advise the Nigerian government now. There are countries in the world that if you invest in their properties, you have to hold the property, housing issue properties for 5 years. You will be issued with the country's passport. You become a citizen in that country. And this is a model through which they are using to attract foreign direct investment. We have a lot of Lebanese, we have a lot of Indians, we have a lot of South Africans that want to invest in Nigeria if there are other investment benefits, especially in Nigeria's real estate. And I think this is an angle, this is an aspect this current government that is currently sourcing for what they call a foreign direct investment. If you want a good FDI, develop a national policy on housing development. And if you've done that, that will attract foreigners to want to invest in Nigeria. But most times they ask, okay, what, aside owning this asset, what are the additional benefits? All you need to get a property in the US is for you to register as a taxpayer. You do not need to be residing there. And that is what Nigerian government should do. We need it more than the US and the UK, especially now. And these guys will come in with the fund, buy properties. These are institutional investors, come in with the fund, buy properties over the next 20, 30 years. And we are lucky in this part of the world because we have one of the most highly appreciating value of properties. I think Buhari government in this second time should look towards that angle, that how do we attract foreigners to buy properties in Nigeria with additional incentive.
POINTEK Nigeria Limited is situated in the heart of Lagos State, Ikeja precisely. POINTEK started from a very simple, humble beginning but has made it successfully through the years with a strong desire to create and add value to the telecommunication system in Nigeria. The firm today is a one-stop shop for all kinds of phones, gadgets, electronics and home appliances. Engineer Emeka Oguchi is the MD/CEO and talks about the expansion plans as the firm takes over major states and cities in Nigeria. In his words, always find a way to create value in your immediate community and money will definitely come.
I can remember I started this while I was in university. Back then in Enugu, I would buy laptops from Japan, used laptops. Then they would come in with Japanese windows and keyboards. So I would bring them to Computer Village, change the keyboard, update the windows, change the windows to English, then take it back to the East, to Port Harcourt to be precise. And I was selling to all you guys. I was making a lot of money because those laptops would come in at maybe like 5,000, 7,000 naira. Then I would sell for like 40,000 because then it was difficult to get laptops. That was like the Pentium 1 laptops, It was a big thing to even see laptop with the eyes, but I wasn't getting plenty, just few of them then. So from there, I discovered Computer Village while I was in school. Then that was when the journey started. I would come in here, get these engineers on the street that would change the keyboards and update the windows so that Nigerians can be able to use it. Then again, due to the cost of this upgrade, and I had to start learning how to do it myself to save cost. You understand? Because at the end of the day, these guys will cut my margin into half. You understand? I was paying so much for little. I didn't see much they were doing. So I had to now learn it myself to start doing it, And that was when, the whole thing started, For us, we want to have a one-stop shop where you can come, shop mobile phones, and even electronics. We started with selling laptops. When I graduated, the moment I graduated, I had to set up a company immediately. I didn't learn from anyone. I didn't know who to learn from. So I had to get an office and start selling computer parts from there. That was in the early 2000, okay? So, and that was when GSM came, when President Obasanjo introduced GSM. And then there was so much demand for phones, and the operators couldn't meet this demand. The operators were so much engrossed in extending their networks. If you remember, they were meant to pay so much. I followed the bid. They paid, I think they deposited $25 million and then now paid another $250 million. So with that kind of money, they wanted to make returns on their money, get their money back. They started expanding their networks. Then Econet was faster than every other person. I think the first signal we picked in Nigeria was Econet. So they were not looking at the terminal, the devices people could use to pick the signals. They were sending the marks, the base stations, all those things, to the far north and everywhere. But people couldn't get devices to access the service. The few ones in the market were very expensive. So, in business, anytime you come to solve a problem, you make money. So you look at the problem you're solving first, the value you're going to create. Money will definitely follow. If you do it beautifully well, you'll be rewarded handsomely. So what we did, we saw the niche. I bought my first GSM phone then for 40,000 naira. That's a small Ericsson phone. It was a Sony Ericsson, one tiny thing like that, black and white, monochrome, So expensive. It was just for the rich. In fact, in my school then, I was the only one. I had a GSM phone. In my class, not my school. So it was a big thing. And it shouldn't be. After the massive investment and people are not accessing the services, it doesn't really make sense. So we came to solve the problem, both for the operators and even for Nigerians. You understand? So we started, informally, we started connecting our friends. When I moved to Lagos, then I was into computers. We saw the movement, the drift, people moving from computers to mobile phones. Because mobile phone is like an all-in-one device. Now you have a device which you can use to access your internet, play music. You have a calculator, radio, all-in-one device, a portable device that can give you all those, services in one. So people started dumping their computers, except for few professionals, even up to today, that need computers probably for their work and what have you. So the demand for mobile phone started going up while computers were going down. In the moment we saw it, we switched over. And that's one thing every entrepreneur need to know. You need to know when to make a move. You can start a business, just like Amazon. They started their business by selling books. Today now they are selling cloud. They are into cloud services, about to go big into cloud services. Their major business still remaining online sales, okay? But they're already planning for the future. So the business that gave you $1 million may not be the one's going to give you $1 billion. You have to know when to move. You understand? Not every business is scalable. It has to get to a point where you have to ask yourself, where is this business going to take me? Will I still be in business in the next 10 years? You start planning. You don't have to wait for that time to come. You understand? You start planning for the future. You understand? So that was how we saw ourselves in mobile phone business. So when we started mobile phone business, the day we launched, I told the audience, I said, we're not just going to do mobile phone, okay? We're not going to do mobile phones. We have mobile phone as our core business, but we're going to bring in electronics. We're going to bring in other gadgets. We're going to bring in services. All manner of services, all the VAS that are associated with this business, we're going to bring it on board. We want to be known for that company that can provide you services, excellent customer services, at affordable prices, plus those devices. Okay, as we're giving you these devices, you're getting those services, not just the customer service. Yeah, customer service is key. We're also looking at value-added services. So when you come into POINTEK, all those services are available. You see now, so that is how we came about electronics and other services you see today in POINTEK. And don't forget, one of our principles, one of the driving forces behind this business, you want to empower people. If you look at my background, how I started, starting from the street, learning the skills from the street. So I want to give back to them. I know there are a lot of guys, I can't tell you I grew up in the street, but I know I have some street connection. Coming from school, I had to trace some boys in the street that could do these things, These guys were not educated, but they could fix computers. Even my lecturers in school then couldn't even do it. You understand? Those days we had just one computer. It doesn't even belong to my department. I studied electrical electronics. So we used to attach to a computer in computer engineering lab. That's the only computer we have. One old machine like that. It takes a long time to boot. We walk into the lab, they'll say everywhere quiet as if it's a big thing, you know. Everybody will be quiet waiting for this, you know, rugged machine to boot. You know, the man will come in with his white, you know, apron as if it's a big thing. You understand? They used to scare. At the end of the day, when I came to Lagos, I realized that this is nonsense. The guys that are not even educated on the street were playing with these computers. You know, so I had some street connections, and that's what I want to give back. And I want to look at what is happening now in Nigeria, the state of the economy. I look at the effort government is putting in place. I look at the government direction. I see the passion, especially from the vice president. Societies are built by SMEs, entrepreneurs, and this is where government comes in. The government support is most needed at this point in time, because government cannot do it. Government have a lot of things on their mind to do. Government should focus on policy making and policy implementation. But more importantly, they have to work together with the private sector. We have the youth. We have these youths are talented. Nigerian youths are unique. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying it to excite you. We have to work with government to get this done.
Welcome back, wonderful people. Hope you had a nice time and learned something new as usual on today's episode of your favorite business program, Business and Economy Network. This is the more time you permit us to take, but before I go, I must thank you so much for your contributions, for your constructive criticisms. Thank you so much. Keep them coming. For more information, you can visit our website, and for past episodes of the program, you can also view them on our YouTube channels displayed on your screen. To our wonderful production crew, thank you so much. Let's do this again, same time, same station next week. We love you. God bless you.